Imagine being able to bully-proof your kids and prepare them for anything life throws their way. Studio 5 contributor and relationship coach Dr. Matt Townsend says it's absolutely possible. He's here with advice on how to raise resilient kids. You say kids can handle almost anything if they're resilient.
Oh yeah, and the reality is it could be the bully at school, but it could just also be the bigger brother who's similarly bullying.
Sometimes doubles as the bully.
Or it could be, you know, getting into college. It could be a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of tough stuff that happens to kids. So whether it's the bully or just getting into college, we have to create resilient kids. Kids that are bendable, that aren't so rigid, that the minute they start to have to twist a little bit, they're going to break.
So do moms' routines and to-do lists sometimes counteract this idea of resilient kids?
Oh yeah, and dads saying, grow up, be strong, whatever. Don't cry, quit crying. Because all of these things, crying is an emotion. Eventually, we're going to show you that's kind of the key to resilience, is knowing how to manage your emotion. But there's 4 things we want to focus on that make a child not only be able to, you know, work today, succeed today, but also be able to succeed not knowing what will happen tomorrow.
And before we jump into the list, how much can you really shape a child? Because we all know a child that you go to discipline them and you barely raise your voice and they're just beside themselves, sobbing. You know, a little weaker. Not weaker, that's a terrible word.
Well,
but
maybe more, and there might be a variety of reasons. Maybe they feel the emotion more keenly. Maybe they're more sensitive to stuff. So if you have a sensitive child, and that's one of the keys to resiliency, you've got to know who your child is and figure out what they need to succeed. A really sensitive child needs to know they're sensitive. And they need to maybe take their own math of their life and divide it by 4. So instead of it being a huge deal, it's just kind of a little deal. And you might just need to teach the emotional child that. The child that's not sensitive, that's kind of a brute, you might need to teach them that they need to pay 4 times more attention to other things, to other people, and to other signs.
So you're individualizing this approach based on your child's demeanor.
And the key is, this is stuff we teach all the time on the show, but it's just how to get it in your child. That's what I really want to focus on.
It starts with, you say, teaching principles over practices.
Principles are just a general kind of law or a rule. So I can teach you a general rule, like it's important to serve. Or I can teach you a very specific way. Give your lunch to your friend when they're hungry, and go buy lunch with the money I gave you, okay? I can teach you a practice, or I can teach you a principle. If you want your child to be resilient, in their head, they need to know what the principles are.
So the story behind what you're asking them to do.
The governing law or the rule. They need to know that love is a governing rule. They need to know that honor is a principle. And you've got to decide if you want to be an honorable person or do you want to be a reactive person. If a bully comes up and starts bullying you, it would be natural for you to turn into a bully. But that would break your principles. So what I try to do with my kids is, when they do something right, I don't just talk about your grades were so great. I talk about the principle of hard work. See, we're living that principle of hard work. And when we work hard on our homework, you get better grades. That hard work will also work when you try to get a job. It will also work when you washed your car. And it'll also work when you had to make that really big deal about calling a girl.
So you're connecting lines in both directions. What got you here, and then what will take you forward. How young can you start weaving in the principles?
I think as soon as they're talking. As soon as they're talking, let them just experience life, and life is just full of a lot of different practices and activities. But in the end, always tie it back to a rule, a principle. And you know, it could be a principle from your church. It could be a principle from the community. It could be a principle of the fact that we need to respect one another. It's a very basic principle. And respect means we're nice to people. It means we call people back that called us. It means we don't lie. Respect is a universal principle. And imagine if your child had 7 principles that they could live their lives by, instead of 1 million practices that won't always work.
And this shapes resiliency how? They're just always falling back on more.
Now all of a sudden they have kind of the rule to fall back on instead of a practice. Practices don't apply universally, but the principles do.
All right, you said kids need to understand paradox. Why is that so important?
This is something I talk about on the show all the time, because you know what? Sometimes when you run into life and people, there's some people that are really smart, but they act so stupid. And so a child needs to know that you can be smart and make mistakes. You can be incredibly beautiful and amazingly honest and have lied. And your parents can be smart and the parent, and they don't always do everything perfect. And some kids are mean, and they're not trying to be. And some that are trying to be aren't doing it just because they're evil. So notice the word I just keep adding every time is an and. When you teach children that life is about and you'll work really hard, and sometimes you still won't make the team. And that's fine because it'll still teach you the character you needed to learn. Paradox are how you connect these things together in life. And it makes it so life's not just good, bad, black, white, yes, no, right, wrong.
Right.
It allows you to deal with somebody that's really difficult and still care about them. So start teaching your kids that life isn't just always black and white. Because even when someone's hurting you, they're not doing it because they're hurtful. They're doing it because they're hurting. And we don't want to be like that. And so the best retaliation is get away from the bully, maybe go tell somebody in charge that can help, and let's not be angry at them. Let's not think they're just evil.
Both of these techniques also reframes the situation off of themselves. You know, kind of prevents them or teaches them not to make it always about them.
Which is a key to resiliency. If you keep framing everything is about you and you're always wrong, and it's hard because kids are kind of selfish that way. They're narcissistic. They focus on their own world.
Yeah.
Everything's about them. And the older they get, they start to see that other people have their own personalities. So that helps.
I want to go back to the emotions for just a minute. So if I understood you right, you're saying that it's not about how thick or thin your skin is. It's just how you're teaching your kids to handle the emotions that they feel.
Well, and everybody has different levels of receptivity and levels of delivery of emotion. And so with your kids, they've got to figure out and learn how to tune into their own emotions. If they don't know how their emotions work, they won't be able to manage and be flexible throughout the rest of their life. They need to understand emotion. And it's an easy thing to teach. Just go in the World Series. I taught my sons. Can you imagine being up to bat, ninth inning, 7th game of the World Series? 2 outs. Kids, what do you think would be going through your head right now? Oh, I'd be freaking out. And when you talk about their emotion, can you imagine how scary that would be? Thinking your experiences where you felt that way. I felt that way, Dad, in the football game when they made me run as the quarterback, and I don't like running as the quarterback. And we talk about it. How would you handle your emotion in that situation? What do you think he's doing? Notice he's taking really big breaths. What would you guys do to manage your emotion?
So you're forecasting, putting them in the shoes of those that you're watching or observing.
All you need to do is watch a news show. All you need to do is watch the show Cops. Bad boys, bad boys.
That used to be our family name.
I know.
Growing up, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know your family. That makes sense. But it's amazing because just watching all these people, it's all about emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
And one of the keys to resiliency is knowing your emotion and managing them.
And finally, parents are going to have this tendency to want to swoop in, save, if not help. You say back off.
Back off. People need to fail. One of the great truths that they're finding out in the research is it's not enough to just have a positive mental attitude. You have to also have failure. And if you never allow the child to see the failure, to anticipate the failure, to predict the obstacles, it's not enough to be positive. You have to get rid of obstacles. Some of the research shows that some people are so happy in their body just thinking positively about their dreams that they don't even need their dreams to come true. They've already fulfilled them.
Really?
In their brain.
Internally?
And that becomes an obstacle to actually creating progress. You can be too positive if you're not being real. There's very real obstacles in our lives, and we need our kids to kind of face a conflict, have to handle it themselves, let them fail. Let them go up and order and not know how to order. Let them do things that they don't necessarily know how to do. Help them solve a conflict. Help them learn with their brothers and their sisters how to have, not just like send them to their rooms, but how to talk through a conflict, how to listen. Those are all skills that will help them with the bully, but it will also help them with their college English professor.
I love it. Matt, thank you so much. This is the week that the final tickets we have left remaining for the date night start to fly out the window.
I just wrote the content, and it is my favorite content. It's all about peace, and it's going to help you learn to let it go. You got to let stuff go in your life. November 15th, we're doing it, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You'll get a wristband that says peace.
Oh, wow.
And it's I've got some really cool cues to get you back into peace. Bring your family, bring your neighbors. Think of people that you cannot get over, and we're going to help you find the peace and get over it.
Great early holiday gift, too. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brooklyn.
All right, coming up next, the inexpensive way to introduce your kids to Utah's winter sports.